A big win at the Supreme Court and a big loss for rogue liberal judges. Small ball district judges are no longer allowed to stop the president's agenda. Liberal lawyers can't sue every time Trump acts and get an Obama-Biden judge to issue a nationwide injunction. The ruling was 6-3. Trump stopped by the briefing room to take a victory lap.
Well, this was a big one, wasn't it? This was a big decision. This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law. It gives power back to people that should have it, including Congress, including the presidency. And it only takes bad power away from judges. It really doesn't take power. It takes bad power, sick power, and unfair power. And it's really going to be, this is a very monumental decision.
Bondi was there, and she said the nation just got a lot safer.
You should all feel safer now that President Trump can deport all of these gangs, and not one district court judge can think they're an emperor over this administration and his executive powers and why the people of the United States elected him.
Among other things, rogue judges were stopping Trump from eliminating birthright citizenship. So after this ruling, birthright citizenship is getting fast-tracked to the Supreme Court. Justices hear the case in October.
Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation.
That was a bar.
All right, who want to take this one?
Jamie, you go first as you the guest.
Okay, so yeah, I like this, and I do approve of the thing of birthright citizenship, and it was meant for slaves, and people are trying to scam the system. So yeah, I'm thankful that Trump did this big beautiful bill thing, and hopefully they will pass the thing. And you know, what was it, with his birthright citizenship? I got to read up on it, but I know I'm just ready for it to be gone.
Doc.
That was a bar. I see how he threw that out to try to get the people on his side. Clearly, he got y'all on his side when he said that. That's part of what made America America. Coming here, and if my children are born here, they're American. That wasn't for the baby. That wasn't for the kids of slaves. Irish people came over here. Plenty of people from the European countries came over here. Chinese, Asian, helped build a road. Tons of people came over here after slavery, and when their children were born here, they were American citizens. That was part of the American dream. That's part of what the soldiers of America fight for, is that freedom of American citizens, and that's what is built up. I didn't serve with guys who came over here and could barely speak English, and they signed up to join the U.S. Army. And when they had children, their children were American citizens. And I know he's trying to say, the people who sneak over here, and that's just a small percentage of people who are doing it. I think it's going to get to a point where it's overdone, and now you got people fighting for American citizenship when they should be, entitled to it. It wasn't just for the babies of slaves, he tried to put it in this minute category, and that wasn't what it's for. That's part of the American dream.
May I interfere here?
Go ahead.
So this was a part of the this was post Civil War when they created this as a part of the 14th Amendment. So this was for the babies of slaves, so they could have the right to be here, and your children will obviously have the right to be here because you're an American citizen. And I don't believe a foreign citizen who was born here then came here on vacation and had their baby here should be here just for some crazy reason.
I mean, but you're trying to put it into a small thing right there. You said somebody came on vacation. He's not talking about people who came to stay here for a weekend. He's talking about people who came here to make their life in America. He's saying that their kids here, their kids shouldn't be American citizens. And that's not true. And the babies of slaves, why would we need this? They were born in America. No one
I don't
else.
know. It was rigged back then. It was crazy back then, as you know.
No, I'm going to clarify.
They're not the only people who benefited from it, is my point. The Irish came over here, Chinese, Asian, all type of demographic. That's why America is America. He's trying to make this into like a Mexican thing, in my opinion. That's what I'm getting at, is the
No.
Spanish thing.
What
And
he's
to
saying
me,
is,
that's how it
yeah.
feels.
No, what
But
he's saying is,
he
hold
doesn't
on,
do that.
Hold on, Doc. What he's saying is for the people, the slaves who came here, African American slaves who came here, were forced over here. They didn't volunteer to come here. So that's why it was put in place, basically saying, okay, they here, we brought them over here, we're ending the slavery thing. They have full citizenship just like us. That's what he's saying. He's saying it's not meant for people who sneak over here and have babies.
And I'm saying, why would we need that? They built the country. Why would we need something in place to say the people who built this country are American citizens now? We just made a bill, 14th Amendment, and they're American citizens. They
We were
built
a
the
fifth of a
country.
human. What are you talking about? They had all kind of stuff in place.
And that's
that
my
you weren't
point.
a full citizen. So the amendment was put in place for us being here, that go ahead and say we're citizens. Instead of all this, you're a fifth of a citizen, you don't have certain rights. That's what the bill was put in place for. Or at least that was the driving force, was slavery. After we abolish slavery, we're going to say, hey, they're citizens. If you were born here, your kids, they're citizens too. It's not, so what he's trying to say is not supposed to be for people who sneak over here and have kids just to try to gain citizenship.
You think he stops any of those wealthy friends he has who come from Russia, who come from Ukraine? You think he stops any of them from when their kids come over here and have kids and make their kids American citizens?
We don't know that. He could have those standards. We're speculating. We don't know that.
That's my thing. That's part of the American dream. Part of the American dream was, if you are born here, you're an American. People came here to make a life. These aren't people who came for the weekend. You're saying that like these people came here.
Why can't you take it that he's trying to keep it an American dream and not an American nightmare? He's trying to throttle.
How did he get his American citizenship?
Do what?
He wasn't born. His people weren't born on this land. If that's what you want to go back to, at what point did they put Trump? At what
his dad is German. They're from Germany.
So at what point did he put in?
Here, right?
At what point did? So how did he get his American citizenship? He was born here. You're right, just like everybody else gets.
But I'm saying he was born here from a citizen. What are you talking about?
Hold on, I want to bring up what Skeptic just brought up. So Skeptic brought up a case. One, Kim Art versus USA. And basically, and Skeptic on a new part, she said this is what gave immigrants the same right to birthright citizenship. So it was passed in court. But
every American is an immigrant. No one was born here. So when you say he gave those rights to slaves, the Europeans who came here, what made them citizens? They stole this land from Native Americans.
You can't steal land. You can conquer it. They can't. Yeah, they came here for Europe, conquered it, took it over.
You can't steal it
because they won the fight. They won the fight. They get the
eminent domain. Eminent domain can be considered stealing land.
That's the spoils of war. You won. You make the rules now. If you lose, you lose your rules. That's the same thing with the Constitution. Once somebody is strong enough to defeat America, the Constitution won't mean shit no more. The only thing upholding the Constitution, the people like you and Gray and King J that served in the military, we had the strongest military. Once we lose that, the Constitution won't mean shit. There's nothing holding it up but us fighting.
Slim, what you think?
Man, another win for my boy. I mean, that's just how I get down when it comes to Trump, man. I mean, everything he doing, I'm just glad. I know it's gonna be pushback. Everything he do, most of the liberal people, they just can't stand him. Doesn't matter what he does. I'm over that part of it. Like now I see, like Trump derangement syndrome is official. Like it's real. So now I just learned to live with it. So I got people that say, oh, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but for some reason they don't like Trump. Everybody who say that never liked Trump. I've never seen anybody who say that be cool on the Republican side. So I just know it's a derangement thing. People don't want to see him for what he really is all about. And this is where we are. That's why he's going to keep winning. No matter what people say, what people feel. I know every move he make is for the better of this country. And that's where I'm at with it. So I love to see these little confrontational things because he's still winning.
King J?
I would say that so far as the court case, eventually, I think that's going to come handy for us later on down the line when it's time for us to get back into power. Um, so far as so far as citizenship, I think that this is uh, not even a question that we should be asking anybody that has any good grammar. When you actually go and read it, it says all persons, all persons. It doesn't say descendants of slaves. I mean, we're talking about the founding fathers. Republicans love to revere the founding fathers on how smart they were. So if that was their real intentions, why didn't they just put the freed slaves or descendants of slaves? It's because they wanted to enshrine that right for anybody that came here. And there's no arguing about that. There's really no arguing about it. It says all persons born, naturalized in the United States, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States. I mean, I don't know how y'all could argue with that. The
So
grammar is here.
it says
Grammatically,
it says subject to the jurisdiction.
yes.
So that means whatever the law is at the time.
All persons or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside.
Okay. Jamie, how old are you?
17.
17. Hey, it's a big thing. Say a young man like you know, talking politics. You know, you seem like very smart and like Jamian talks about a lot of stuff. He big on TikTok, and you like anti like Christian podcaster, right? Creator.
Yeah, Christian.
For sure. So we definitely gonna have Jamie on. He's free for the summer. We'll get him on as many times as we can. Give us your closing thoughts.
Well, Christ is king. Give your life to Jesus Christ, and all babies matter. So let's not kill babies. And yeah, that's really it. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and I promise you will not regret it.
For sure. Slim, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh man, I like Javion, man. A smart young brother, man. Keep doing what you're doing and get a lot more people in your generation to have that mindset, man. I think that's gonna be phenomenal. So continue, man. But yeah, another good show, man. You know, Vogel's doing his thing. I'm loving it. And you know, it's the Man Cave New Party, man. Family over here. No matter the differences, we all still together, man. So let's get it. New Party, Man Cave.
Most definitely. Doc, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts is Trump grandfather came over here when he was 16 years old. His father was born here and made an American citizen. He's taken away from people something that he benefited from. He's directly one lineage away from benefiting from. And, you know, I just think that's part of the American dream. So that's just my opinion on it, though.
For sure. King J.
It was a good show today, you guys. This specific topic, I don't even see why we're having this discussion. If you have any good grammar skills and can read properly, then the Constitution says what it says in point blank, period, in black and white. So we'll see.
For sure. First off, I want to thank Jamie on. It's nice, you know, to have a young guy come on here with all us old guys to give us, you know, a perspective from being young. And it's nice to see, you know, a young guy involved in politics. Hopefully, people see you and other young guys get into politics. With Trump approval rating is bad. Like he basically is making all types of mistakes, and with the independents, he's failing with them. I hear Slim laughing, but for me, if I live here in America, but if Trump does something good, I'll say okay, that's good because I benefited, like what Vogler said with the stocks. So we talked about stocks and stuff all on here. All of us were saying, oh, we all start wishing for the recession. It was like, oh, we all go invest. So I give credit where credit is due. I don't think Trump had anything to do with it, but I'm not just gonna say like, you know, he had nothing to do with it. Man cave. Ogre.
Oh man, King J, yeah, I think we all got good grammar, but we all also have separation of powers, and we have judges that are supposed to sort out differences of the interpretations of the Constitution. So to say that, I understand what you're saying, but that's why we have the judicial branch of the government to sort out differences, so it's not as black and white as you make it seem. All right, I'm glad that Trump can do things like they said. You don't have 600 presidents because that's what it's like.
Vogel, I think you froze. But Nora wanted me to plug the new party show at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be covering the Diddy trial. So we gonna keep a close eye on that as soon as we know what's going on with Diddy. Go ahead, Vogel. You froze.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Where did I freeze at? But anyway, I was telling King J, I was like, we got 3 branches of government, and we got the Supreme Court that's supposed to sort out discrepancies or the interpretation of the Constitution, so it's not as black and white as you make it. But yeah, I'm glad that they're freeing Trump up to do things that he's supposed to do as president. We don't have 600 other presidents as these district judges that's getting in his way. Let this man do what he do. And like I said, the next year, 2 years, 4 years, we'll see how it look. All right, man, K.
We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern with a new party. We do this Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to play the outro.